Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. This is Miss Aisha Anwar from Biotic Academy. Hope you all are good and enjoying the information which I am sharing about the topics of biology, O-levels biology with you people. In my last video, I discussed about the movement of material, the importance of water, and what are the transport systems going on in the body of living organism. In continuation with the last topic, we are here again in the later part of this syllabus, in which we are going to discuss about the types of transport system in the body of living organism. So for that, first of all, we will begin with diffusion. Most of you are familiar with this term diffusion. In chemistry, you must have read this topic, and it also occurs in the body of living organism as well. Diffusion is a process in which the molecules or ions are moving from an area of high concentration to an area of lower concentration down the concentration gradient. It is the movement of material down the concentration gradient from high to low, from high concentration to low concentration. And this phenomena is basically going on in the body of living organism with reference to the movement of material when blood takes oxygen, glucose and all other nutrient toward the cell. So the blood is rich in concentration with oxygen, glucose and all other nutrients, and the concentration is high in the blood. So the blood is going to transfer those material to the cell. The movement of material across the tissue fluid into the cell is basically an example of diffusion, where the ions and the glucose and water and all other nutrients are moving from higher concentration of the blood to lower concentration towards the cell of the body. Likewise, the carbon dioxide which has been built up in the cell due to the cellular respiration is moving out from the cell as the concentration of carbon dioxide is high in the cell. So it starts moving from high concentration from the cell to lower concentration in the blood. So diffusion in the body of living organism can be understood by this example of gaseous exchange in the body. Gaseous exchange in the body where oxygen is coming out of the cell and carbon dioxide is getting inside, oxygen is getting inside the cell and carbon dioxide is coming out of the cell from high concentration to low concentration. So this is how diffusion can be seen in the body of living organism as a movement of material take place like this, or exchange of material take place like this. Outside the body of living organism, you must have read about the concept of the movement of molecules of perfume in a room, in a big room, how the molecules of perfume are being spread from high concentration at the place where the perfume has been sprayed to the other part of the room where it is not sprayed. So like this way, it is the molecules of the perfume will get diffused from high concentration to lower concentration. Now you can see the example of diffusion with reference to the movement of molecules in water. How the dye molecules are being spread in water means the diffusion can be seen with reference to liquid movement of one liquid in movement of another liquid. Concentration of dye when it is being poured in the beaker, the concentration of molecules of dye is higher at that point. So the molecules of dye will start diffusing from high concentration to low concentration around the beaker like this. They will start diffusing until unless they are equally distributed. Gradually, this process takes time, and until unless the molecules of dye are equally distributed throughout the beaker, and the stage is called equilibrium. That is the point which shows that now the diffusion has been completed, or the molecules of dye are equally distributed throughout the beaker of water. So in this way, diffusion can be seen outside the body of living organism, and diffusion can be witnessed within the body of living organism with reference to the exchange of material between the cell and the blood. Now, along with the diffusion, you must have heard another example, another term, another word, that is osmosis. what is osmosis? Osmosis is basically quite similar to diffusion, but here the movement of water molecules are in focus. In diffusion, we talk about the molecules of ions, or we talk about the movement of the gases. But in case of osmosis, we talk about purely about the movement of water molecules from a solution with a high concentration of water molecules to the lower concentration of water molecules. Now, what is this concentration of water molecules? Concentration of water molecules means the availability of free water molecules. Availability of free water molecules is basically free water molecules. What is free water molecules? Free water molecules are those molecules which are not bound with any of the solute and they are present in a solution and they are weakened and they have more energy to move across. Now, most important thing for osmosis is that there should be a membrane in between the two solutions so the water molecules can move from higher water potential to low water potential. Why we need to have a semi-permeable membrane? We need to have semi-permeable membrane in order to separate two solutions with different concentrations so that the water can move, free water molecules can move from high water potential to low water potential. Now, in the body of living organism, is this phenomena works? Yes, this is occurring in the body of living organism as well. As we drink water and the water is moved along with the glucose, with the blood reaches towards the cell, there the movement of water molecules take place from the blood into the cell. Only the movement of water molecules, I am repeating again and again, is basically done by osmosis, where the movement of water molecules take place from higher water potential to low water potential. Now, what is water potential? Water potential energy. Water potential is basically the potential or the energy of free water molecules so that it can vibrate quickly as it is not bound with any solid molecules and can move across the membrane quickly from higher water potential to low water potential. So in this way, this osmosis takes place in the body of living organism with reference to the movement of water molecules, and outside the body of living organism you can see this phenomena with reference to this apparatus. You can see over here where I have, you can see that two solutions of different concentration are separated from each other and they are now movement of water molecules can be seen from high water potential to lower water potential until unless the molecules of water, free water molecules, get equal on both sides. Now you can see this phenomena with reference to this apparatus where we are using a whisking dialysis tubing. This is a basically membrane which is basically used in order to separate two solutions, two liquids. Likewise, you can see in this apparatus that there is a whisking tubing. It's a membrane-like structure, or you can say a polythene-like structure which is membranous, means it has small pores. With the help of those small pores, only the water molecule can move across the membrane from higher to low, depend on the type of solution it is. So we have prepared a sucrose solution, a sugar solution, and we have filled this dialysis tubing or whisking tubing, a membrane-like structure with that sucrose solution, and we have put a capillary tube over here in which is dipped in this whisking tubing, and this capillary tube is also having a amount of sucrose solution filled into it. Now we are going to put this whisking tubing apparatus into a beaker of water, a beaker of pure water which is not having any solute in it. So as I told you that osmosis is the movement of free water molecules from high water potential to low water potential. After the placement of this whisking tubing into this beaker of water, what we will observe after few minutes, that water will start moving. In which direction do you think the water will start moving? From the sucrose solution to the beaker or from beaker to the sucrose solution? Obviously, the concentration of free water molecule is more in the beaker, so the water will start moving from higher water potential to low water potential, As a result, the level of solution in this whisking tubing will rise, because the water is now adding into the sucrose solution and making the sucrose solution diluted, and this causes a rise in the level of solution in this capillary tube. So in this way you can see that water is moving across the membrane. We need to have a membrane in the process of osmosis in order to observe this phenomenon for the movement of water molecules from high water potential to low water potential and to separate the two fluids. Now, after osmosis, one more important phenomena that take place in the body of living organism is active transport. Active transport is basically different from diffusion and osmosis. In this active transport, the molecules or ions are moving against the concentration gradient from low to high by utilizing the energy of ATP. ATP is basically adenosine triphosphate, is basically a currency of the cell, and that is basically a chargeable battery which provides energy to the cell membrane to move the molecules or ions against their concentration gradient. Now in diffusion you had seen that molecules were higher from where they started spreading. They were in high concentration over there, but here you can see it is basically a diagram of the cell membrane, and in between the cell membrane you can see these protein pumps. These protein pumps are basically using the energy of ATP to move the material or to move the ions or molecules against the concentration gradient from low concentration to high concentration inside the cell. The cell membrane contains basically these protein pumps which help them to move the material against the concentration gradient. So this part is inside of the cell and the material are being pumped in from lower concentration to high concentration by utilizing the energy of ATP. This phenomena is also taking place in the body of living organism, both in animals and in plants, for the movement of ions and molecules across the membrane. So the chapter is over here, and in this chapter I had explained you about different phenomena of movement within the body of living organism. Hope you are enjoying my lectures and you will be liking my videos and subscribing my channel. This is Miss Aisha Anwar from Biotic Academy. Take care.